Hello, hello, hello. This is Tom from Tom and Ruth Philippine Adventures down here in sunny Mindinao. So how's everybody? I'm in the bedroom today. It is one hot. It is exactly 7:30 in the morning. It is so hot out there. It is hot. So we got the aircon going. Why not, right? So today I want to talk about, this is really coffee time. There's going to be a lot of subjects on here today because if I start talking on one, it just leads in. But anyway, the BI, as you guys know, that Barry Jordan has been picked up for a non-payment of his visa, and so apparently he's got that to work out, and I'm sure they can work that out accordingly, and that would be done immediately, I'm sure, with the embassy. Another person by the name of Rick Lee Crosby Jr., 44, was nabbed in Puerto Princesa City last April. Anyway, the Bureau is cracking down. There's a couple of things what they're starting to do at the bureaus now. When you go in, they ask for your phone number, which you've always done anyway, and they ask your address. So they actually forward that address on to other people here in your communities and your barangays, and the police department may or may not come out to visit you. And it's just a new thing they started doing back last year, COVID times, making sure you're okay, and they're still doing it. So if you get a knock on the door to take your picture every month, which they're starting to do, which is okay, so which is a new thing, but it's happened to quite a few guys here in town, and they said they get a knock on the door and a picture taken every month to make sure they're alive and everything as well. Anyway, they're putting an order of deportation. I don't know about Barry. I don't know too much about Barry. He was a subscriber, I think, at one time. But the visa woes. If you're coming to the Philippines, you don't pay your visa, they're going to catch you eventually. More than likely, your passport, what they do is when you're picked up in that situation, your passport's taken. Then they call the embassy, and the embassy comes down to meet you, and then they try to negotiate, and they try to help you. But although you still have to pay the bill. So no matter what, however it worked out, you still have to pay the bills. And quite a few guys think that they are oblivious from paying visa fees. And I do not understand it. There was one guy that I met in February in CDO. He hadn't paid his in 4 years. I said, why? From New York. So why wouldn't you pay it? It's just too much hassle. They can deport you. I'll just pay the money. Well, that attitude will not get you. You pay the money, they can still deport you. They can slap you with, and I got to tell you, during the COVID times, I was over 10 days. I had to pay $1,000. $1,000 for 10 days. I hate to see when these guys got 4 years, 5 years. I do know a guy 7 years. Besides this Barry Jordan guy, he's been here 7 years and he's not been caught yet, but he's going to get caught. I told him, I said, somewhere you will get caught. They will find you. So I want to talk about that, and of course Barry Jordan and the other guy. And another thing I want to talk about, number 2 on the list, since I talked about that for 3 minutes. Number 2 on the list is Philippine Airlines. Philippine Airlines has so many complaints. They're having so many complaints against the airlines. Many different reasons. Ticket agents late, airlines not being on time, just many problems. Be careful. If you're going to book a ticket on Philippine Airlines, make sure, that's the one I was going to book, make sure, because it's one way. I don't like the stop. Make sure you check it out. Make sure they get some of the problems. They got so many problems. They got problems on top of problems on top of problems. So Philippine Airlines, be careful. Be careful. I'm just saying be careful. If you're flying in or flying out, make sure you're careful. All right, another one I'm going to talk about today is power outage at the airport. As you guys know, they had an outage. Cebu Airlines canceled 49 flights. Not only them, but it was just a mess in Manila. 7-hour power outage. It's a short in the system, caused the system to fail. They can't seem to figure it out there. As you know, they had one in January, and it got to a point to where people were angry it was just really bad. A friend of mine was flying out. He called me on the phone and says, the power's been out 5 hours. There's no food, no water where I'm at. I said, well, tell them to bring you food or water. He said, it is so hot in this airport. And I said, well, I would have thought now, like the malls here, they don't have big generators that separate those and you can generate power. I know they do in the States. They got those really big generators. The malls can sustain a mall that's 6 stories high and have power and have aircon and everything else here. Why can't they do part of the airport? I'm just saying. I don't know. I'm not there. I don't know anything about it. Maybe they do and it don't work. Maybe they have generators and they don't work. I don't. I was in Manila one time, and Ruth and I were shopping. It was one of the big malls, and power went out. And man, it was 3 minutes, 3 minutes from start to finish, before the unit would kick on. It was dark, and so over the loudspeaker they said, "Hey, just give it 3 minutes," and it kicked on, and it was like normal. But I find it very interesting that they don't have that. So power outage in Manila, it's kind of being expected. Power outages all throughout the Philippines. I'm getting more and more and more and more and more as time goes on. 7 years ago, I don't even remember power outages at all for the first 3 years. We didn't have one. Ruth and I talked about that. We didn't have one. We didn't have any power outages. I didn't have one, not one, but yet after 3 years of being here, boom, they have them all the time. Masks. Remember I did a story on the masks. Iloilo is still wearing masks, what I understand. They're telling me that in the cities they're still wearing because of COVID cases there. But all throughout the Philippines, the President Marcos said, we're not going to do anything. Department of Health says, okay, we're not going to make everybody wear a mask. You're not going to have to go get booster shots as of yesterday, the day before yesterday. And the reason why is there was a little uproar. The fact is that we're not doing masks again. In some areas, they were actually stopping people from coming into the restaurants, 50% capacity. I know in Cebu, I had some guys telling me, it's no problem here. I'm wearing a mask. I'm at the mall. And then another guy messages me and says, I'm at a mall too, and we have to wear a mask before gaining entry and must show a vaccine card. But that's guys telling me. I'm not there. I don't know what is truth and not truth. I'm just telling you what the guys are telling me. I had 2 guys tell me that they had no problem wearing masks. Then I had 22 guys telling me that they had to wear a mask. So I'm taking the 22 guys. 22 guys are not going to get it wrong if they have to wear a mask everywhere they go in Cebu. Now, I understand the airports and airlines, they're going to make you wear a mask, and that's just the way it is. They're going to make you wear a mask. They're going to make you wear make sure you adhere to certain things. And even in Davao, we had to wear a mask. So, getting on the bus. So, it's just the way it is. You just have to expect it. Where to live? Now, this is a question been asked me. Where do you live on Social Security? Where can you live in the Philippines? You can live anywhere in the Philippines on Social Security. Social Security is something that if you get a check in, and whether it's disability check or whatever, you can live anywhere you want. Can you live inexpensively? Yes. Can you live inexpensively here? Yes. A lot of guys are moving to Peru and Mexico, leaving here. The Philippines I say a lot of the guys, and I say a lot of guys, and what I mean, a lot of guys that I know. A lot of the guys I know have left and gone to Mexico and Peru and other places, Panama. And the reason why is because of health care. Number one reason, health care. They said they're not necessarily going to go back to States. A bunch went back to States. More went back to States than went to Mexico and Peru. But they're finding that they can live inexpensively. A guy bought a condo on the beach inexpensively, as far as it's cheaper than a condo there in Mexico, and he's living there. Another guy said he's paying $220 on the beach in a beautiful, beautiful 3-bedroom, 2-bath condo. Beautiful, all tiled. He says it's got a beautiful lanai, and it includes electricity. Of course, electricity in Mexico is really cheap compared to what it is here. All right, so said the health is better, the health care is better in Peru and Mexico, and then it was a lot easier. So, which is understand how that is. I mean, we sometimes don't really realize that, even in the States, you can live inexpensively in the States. A lot of people are doing it. People say you can't. You can. It's how you live. It's if you want extravagant every day. Listen, I have rice every meal. Not every meal. I have rice. I have whatever. And if I have a banana for breakfast and that's all we have, well, I have it and don't complain about it. You can do the same in the States. The expensive thing anywhere in the world is your food, your rent, your health care, electricity, the quality of life, whatever it takes to have you quality of life. So it could be food, could be electric, could be just things in general. You don't know what that is. Health care, eye care, things like that. And as long as you get those in order, you can live anywhere in the world. There's guys living in the U.S. cheap that have houses and have cars and living inexpensively all over. They're living on $1,000, $1,500, $1,800 a month. They're living great. I don't know, but that's what they're telling me. They say they are. They say they are living great. When you don't have any debt and $1,000, $1,500 a month, and your car's paid for and your house is paid for, no debt. What expenses you have? Insurance on the house. A lot of guys tell me they're paying like $100 a month or less for taxes. A lot of guys are going off grid and buying a piece of property and putting a house there. Off grid. That seems to be the new norm. The new norm is off grid in the States, where you can buy things. Some of the guys telling me I had Stephen, Erica, Sam, and I can't pronounce the last name, are headed to Vietnam. And shout out to those guys, subscribers on the channel. They're going to Vietnam and they're going to stay about 9-10 months, come back here a month, and then go back to the States. But they're going to experience Vietnam and see maybe it's a place that they can stay so they can have consistency. They're having a lot of power outages where they live here in the Philippines, up in the Visayas. And so the power outages are getting to them. Instead of going spending $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 on a solar system setups, they decided, why don't we just take that money and go to Vietnam and stay? Because they say, and people are claiming, that you can live in Vietnam cheaper. I do not know. And of course, they're going to give me updates on that and give me actual costs. And I may try to do a video with these guys, but a lot of guys don't want to do videos because they don't want to be on the camera. It's not that important to them, and they're not vloggers. Let's face it, most people that want to be on the cameras are vloggers, and their intent is to go on there and to build their channel when they go on the other vlogging channels. A lot of guys really don't, they could care less about vlogging and not looking to do that because it changes their lifestyle and what they're accustomed to. He said, I don't want to have to worry, I got to make a video today, and what money I make on that, how much would it be, I said, well, it does vary. Some of even the bigger guys now are telling me they're making like a third of what they were making at one time, 1 million subscribers. So, but Vietnam would be a good choice if you're thinking of doing that. Bali, they said it's cheap to live there. Cambodia, I know is cheap. My friend Kevin lives there. Kevin P lives there, and he was saying he had teeth work done, and he's telling me his expenses. And really, Cambodia is a good choice to live. And healthcare is something, they have good healthcare there, where you're not really sure about that. That is the number one thing. It's going to fail the Philippines, and it's going to take them more than 5 years or 8 years to get up to speed on that, especially when the hospitals here take billions and billions and billions of dollars, when the hospitals don't even have an x-ray machine to x-ray your arm when one's broke, and the closest one is 100 miles away. So there's a lot of things going on there. Well, you have to go from here and you got to go there. Well, okay, so if you don't have a car and you got to ride a bus and a tricycle and everything else, so, and then cars gets into other issues that we've talked about many times. So you have to kind of be prepared. When you're outside the United States, the conveniences sometimes will, you miss that convenience where you can just hop in a car. You got a broke arm, hey, take me down to this thing here. and somebody will drive you down there, or you can get somebody to do it. Here, you can get somebody to do it, but you got to ride a tuk-tuk. And not everybody can drive a car. Even though they have a driver's license, not everybody, even a Filipino, can drive a car. And don't think that even though they tell you they can drive, does not mean they can drive. We have a friend that has a personal driver that comes picks him up. And the guy said he had a driver's license, and he hired him, and he actually had a driver's license, but he couldn't drive no car. He didn't even know how to shift it. So shift it correctly. So you can get a driver's license here. You don't necessarily have to take a driving test or anything like that. They really don't have books that you have to do where you do in the States. I don't even know if they do eye exams. Maybe they do. Maybe they make you do health and all that other stuff. I really don't know. I just know that if you do get sick, you better have someone that is there, ready, available to get you somewhere. We have 2-3 people stand by here. If I need a car, this one's got a car. It never goes out of this driveway. He may have a problem cranking it, but he has a car. So, just being prepared and things like that, because you never know when things are going to happen. Plan A, B, C. So, pay your visa fees, number one. And that is the thing that I really want to tell everybody. Please pay your visa fees. Thank you so much. God bless everybody, and I'll see you guys next time on Tom and Ruth Philippine Adventures.